Hello and welcome to DVB English News. I'm Joe. In this week's headlines, Myanmar citizen among the victims of Bangkok mall shooting. Over 281 civilians killed by airstrikes since the 2021 military coup. UN OCHA states number of people displaced nearly 2 million. And former UN officials call on the UN to change its approach in Myanmar. 2 were killed and 5 others were injured in a shooting at Siam Paragon shopping mall in Bangkok, Thailand on October 3rd. One of the 2 murdered by the unnamed 14-year-old assailant was Mo Myint, a 31-year-old Myanmar citizen who worked as a sales assistant in the mall. Her employer told Thai media that Mo Myint sent 10,000 baht, or $269, to her parents in Myanmar every month. The company expressed its condolences to Mo Myint's family and said it will provide compensation to them. The Thai government expressed its condolences to the victims' families. At least 281 civilians have been killed in airstrikes since the 2021 military coup, states the UN Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights, or OCHA. It has documented 988 airstrikes up to July 2023. With 258 of them occurring in Sagaing region since April 2022. The OCHA Myanmar team reports that over 90% of those killed in arson attacks by pro-military forces were over the age of 60 and had either physical or mental disabilities. It added that at least 32% of the 3,857 civilians killed up to July 2023 died in regime detention. James Rodehaver is the chief of the OCHA Myanmar team.
We interviewed over 161 victims and eyewitnesses to human rights violations, and what we found is that the conflict and the violence in Myanmar continues to spiral out of control. The situation is getting worse and worse, primarily because of the violations being committed by the Myanmar military. We found that, in particular, the military is utilizing heavy weaponry, especially the use of airstrikes, airdropped munitions, the burning of villages, and of course the phenomenon where they're committing mass killings, or killings of more than 10 people in one incident. And that has resulted in a dramatic toll on the civilian population.
That was James Rodehaver, chief of the OCHA Myanmar team. The number of internally displaced persons, or IDPs, who have been forced from their homes in Myanmar is nearly 2 million, stated the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, or UN OCHA. It states that 18 million people across the country are in need of international assistance. At least 1.7 million people have become IDPs, and over 63,000 have sought refuge in neighboring countries since the 2021 military coup. The Special Advisory Council for Myanmar, or SAC-M, released a report calling for the UN to stop engaging with the military regime. Members of SAC-M include former UN officials, and it advocates for the end of military rule and a return to democracy in Myanmar. J. Lat May, a humanitarian worker, said that the IDPs in Karenni state have not received any support from international organizations, including the UN. SAC-M called on the UN to stop engaging with Naypyidaw and instead engage with the National Unity Government, ethnic resistance organizations, and civil society to ensure aid deliveries across the country. And that's all for DVB English News. Tune in again next week for all the latest headlines from Myanmar. I'm Joe. Thanks for listening.